Hey, it's Abby from 4onemore.com, and I wanted to give you a little peek into what we will be using this coming year for homeschooling fourth grade. This is the fifth time I've homeschooled fourth grade, and some things have stayed the same and some things are totally different. So that's the funny thing about as you homeschool multiple kids, you might think you have the best plan for your oldest. And then when the next one comes around, you make some changes and the next one and the next one. Now that we're on our fifth time in fourth grade, I've learned some things. Some new curriculum has come out and I've made some changes. So I think this will work best for us this year. This is just an example of how you can piece together an eclectic homeschool for your child. That's, you can do multiple styles really. So an eclectic style is really pulling the best from different approaches. So we will use narration, which would be like a Charlotte Mason methodology. And we will use, read classics that classical education would say, your fourth grader should be reading these awesome books. So we'll be doing that too. And then we do some textbook approach, like in math, we're pretty much textbook based. And so we kind of pull from all different styles and methods and just make the best fit for us. Now, my fourth grader is pretty independent, but of course, I will sit down and, help her with each day's lesson as needed, and then she'll be able to finish the lesson on her own, just depending what it is. So let me show you what we've chosen to use this year. And I will link to specific curriculum reviews along with this video because some of these resources I've done complete reviews on. So if you want to look into that, check out the links below. But our favorite math in the elementary year still remains BJU Press Math. This is the fourth grade level. I did a full video inside peek into this book, so I will link that below. But I really feel like at least until sixth grade, you can get away with BJU Press, just the work text. You don't need a teacher book. You don't need video lessons. It's easy to just see what you're learning each day and do one page. And it's a great mix of spiral and mastery approach. So we still love this. This is the one thing that hasn't changed. We did start using BJU Press Math with my oldest in kindergarten homeschool, and we've never changed. Now in the high school years, I have started sending them off with an online math with videos just because I needed to get that off my plate. But I still think for the elementary years, you can't go wrong with BJU Press Math. And so that's what our math option is. And its student work text is very affordable. Next is the big topic of language arts. Now, language arts is like a bunch of little subjects. And I don't usually like to pick a curriculum that says this is the English 4 book or whatever, because I don't feel like they do a good job of actually hitting all of the little nitty gritty topics in language arts. So we split it up. So let me show you individually what we're using. So for spelling, we love all about spelling. I have a whole review on that because we went through so many spelling curriculums, like many years ago with my oldest children, until we found something that worked, and All About Spelling is the only thing that worked. It is an awesome approach. It's not your traditional memorize 20 spelling words and see if you can regurgitate them on Friday and then start over again. It really, it is so mastery based because you take your time, and it doesn't matter what level you're on. You can tell my daughter's a really good speller. She's in fourth grade, but she's on level 5 in spelling. Your fourth grader might be in level 3 in spelling. It doesn't matter. They're going at their own pace. So I really love All About Spelling. Super easy to use. And if you have multiple kids, you just buy these books, and then you have the tiles, physical tiles, or they have an app where you can just do the tile moving on your iPad. And it's very affordable, and you can obviously use it for multiple kids because they don't have a consumable spelling book or anything. My daughter writes whatever we're doing in her own notebook, and that's how we do spelling. So we love All About Spelling. Now, this is a new grammar component for us within the last, I would say, 4 or 5 years, but this is from IEW, Institute for Excellence in Writing. We love their Fix-It grammar. She already did Nose Tree a little bit in third grade, but we're not quite done. So we'll finish it up, and then if we need to purchase another grammar book, from IEW, we will. This takes so little time every day, and the amount of grammar she is comprehending is incredible. Like, I will link to our review below because you will want to see the student pages. Like, in one sentence, all the parts of speech they're finding, the, punctuation issues, the spelling issues, like they're finding so much stuff. It is crazy for third grade. I do not think I knew all that grammar in third grade, and I was a really good student. So I am super impressed with Fix It Grammar. It's so easy to use. This is the student book, and then we do have the teacher book we use as well. But it's a great program, and we're going to keep using it. But I didn't use this for my older kids in grammar. We used some other things that didn't actually quite work as well. They didn't remember it. It didn't stick with them, and I guess they didn't learn it as well. So I'm really glad to have found and started using Fix It Grammar. Now, I don't use Becca stuff very much, but the one thing that I use, and actually it's because it was in my stash. Someone gave me Read and Think skill sheets, and I actually really do like them. It's like reading comprehension. So you read the story on the front, and on the back there's comprehension questions. So I do like to do these once a week. I don't know if I'd go out and buy them. And like I said, I don't typically use anything from Becca, but I do like these Read and Think skill sheets. So I'm going to have my daughter use up the fourth grade ones this year. I haven't used these consistently with all my kids through the years, but I did find them in my stash. So I thought, we're going to use these this year. So we did grammar, spelling, reading comprehension. As far as the writing, she's going to be doing writing across the subject areas. I'll show you in a minute. We'll be doing notebooking for some subjects. So that will be her writing component. I'm not too worried about that. We'll read, we've been reading through Chronicles of Narnia, so we'll read through those. I'll find some other classics that I want her to read. Book reports, I don't really have my kids write them because I want them to enjoy the reading. I don't want them to think, oh, I've got to write a book report when I'm done. Like, that just feels like it sucks the joy out of reading. So that's kind of the approach we'll take there. Let me show you. Her Bible component will be our Little Fishes Bible studies. These are perfect for kindergarten through fourth grade. As long as your child is reading, they can do these studies. We have a James study and a Jonah and Nahum. And so these beautiful physical workbooks are on Amazon, or you can get digital copies and print them for all your kids for that one digital price. So that just depends. If you have one child, you might want the beautiful printed workbook from Amazon. If you have multiple kids, you'll get more bang for your buck if you buy digital and then print it for all your kids. But I will link to reviews of this, and you can get free samples as well. So definitely check that out if you're looking for a Bible, a curriculum that uses the actual Bible. Isn't that an interesting concept, right? Instead of reading remade Bible stories or what someone else says you should know from the Bible, read the actual book of James. We don't go through every verse on this level. We hit highlights throughout the book, but still, you're right in the text. And so that's the best way to teach our kids how to read and understand the Bible. It uses the inductive method, which is really fun for kids because they get to mark keywords. They're using, colors and colored pencils or whatever. And they love this method. It's amazing what kids can understand if we give them the chance to deep dive into the Bible. So that's what we are using for Bible. And then like two more subjects here. I guess I'll mention art. We've done Squilt before, so we might just do some Squilt lessons, and I'll link to an episode on the Homeschool with Moxie podcast where I talked with Mary Prather, who is Squilt is her program. So I'll link to the interview I did with her so you can learn more. As far as science, we had this Apologia, Exploring Creation with Human Anatomy and Physiology. We had this book already, and I asked my daughter, what science topic do you want to learn this year? And she did say, she wanted to learn human body. So we're going to use this by Jeannie Fulbright. And I don't know if I will purchase their actual student notebook, although I love the Apologia student notebooks because they do help you do notebooking where it's all there for you. We might just create our own notebooking situation going through this. I know this looks like a textbook, but it is really written kind of like from a Charlotte Mason approach where it's very hands-on. It's written in a really nice style. It's not textbooky. It's written to the student, lots of interesting, like the conversational style, lots of hands-on projects, just really well done. So we will use this year and do notebooking along with it. I also ordered, I saw people talking online about this squishy skeleton with organs that was on Amazon for really cheap this week, where you can take the body apart and all the organs out and learn about them. So I did order that as well to use along with this, because I thought that is the perfect hands-on resource or model to have to use with an anatomy class. So that's what we're going to do for science this year. And then last but not least, I think I hit everything, is kind of like our social studies. So I absolutely adore this book. I was a geography middle school teacher before I had kids, and I don't think I knew about this book until later, but we did a lot of things where we were learning about landforms and looking for creative ways to learn that. And that's what this book reminds me of. It's just such a cute book, from A to Z, takes you through all the different landforms. And so we've been notebooking through this in third grade, and we'll finish out in fourth grade just to make sure we know all our landforms. So that's a bit of geography. And then we also, I guess we're halfway through stuff. We also started Mystery of History, Volume 1 in third grade. We did not get through this, because you know how it is in the younger years, you don't do this every day. So we will try to finish it. It's supposed to be from creation to resurrection. This is another thing that stayed pretty consistent in my homeschooling through all the years. Mystery of History was our first history program we ever used, when all my older kids who are now in college, when they were in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, we did Mystery of History. So in the middle school years, I have switched to Story of the World, because it's just really written in a great narrative style, and I let my middle schoolers read through that. But I am using Mystery of History again with my youngest, because we love the timeline, like a giant timeline. And I'll stick a link to my review of Mystery of History where you can see our original timeline from like 10 years ago or more. It's super fun. But we will continue with this. The other thing I love about Mystery of History, and I realized I had these on my computer, was I had purchased all the MP3 audio readings of these lessons. So I don't have to do the reading. So I'm going to have my daughter listen to the MP3, listen to the audio recording. We're going to do our timeline and talk about it. We don't tend to do the activities or anything else. We just want to understand it and enjoy the story as we go. So that's what we're going to do for history. So that is my fourth grade plan for this coming year. Like I said, some stuff has stayed the same, some stuff has changed, but that's kind of an inside peek of how you can pull together what you love the best from each subject. You don't have to pick one curriculum company that gives you everything in a box. I mean, this was very inexpensive to do it this way also, especially because some of the things can be passed down from kids and reused. Now, if I had multiple elementary kids, they would all be doing the same history and science and Bible and pretty much everything but language arts and math. But my fourth grader is stuck on the end. So her 4 older brothers are all high school and college now. So they're not doing stuff together. Now, when I had 4 boys within 5 years of each other, you better know we did pretty much everything together. That's the only way to homeschool so many kids without going crazy and giving everyone their own individual subjects. But now that my number 5 child is stuck on the end, she's the youngest, there's no one close enough in age to do stuff with her. She is doing things individually. So that's just one caveat to make. If I had multiple kids in the elementary ages, they would for sure be doing many of these things together. I hope that has helped you kind of see how you can pull together a really eclectic homeschooling plan. So easy. I don't even worry about writing out what page or lesson she's going to do every day. We just open up and do the very next thing. I will also link to some ideas for using Trello or work boxes for keeping your kids organized and knowing what to do each day. Now, my 4th grader probably is using work boxes again because it's just easier than jumping on the computer and checking off a list. Work boxes are visual. She opens the drawer, whatever's in there, we have to get it done for the day. So those are just some ideas to help you get started. Check out all the links I will put with this video for more information about all of the books and resources we're using for 4th grade homeschool.